Hi, I'm Andrew, and today we're going to take a look at the DMC122 MIDI controller with the GEMINI DSP board installed in the back. The DMC is brought to us by a company called Genuine Soundware in Italy. And if it looks familiar, you're probably right, because it is the same company that brought the Mojo digital Tonewheel organ. And they did that under the Crumar name, so they look very similar, probably share a lot of the same parts as well, which is fine. The DMC122 is a MIDI controller, so it's got no sounds built in on its own. And pretty much everything you see here is assignable. So you can assign the drawbars to different functions, all the buttons, the wheels, the knobs, the pedals, pretty much everything you see here, you can assign it using the software that is available to download from the site. Also, it's got two velocity and pressure sensitive key beds. So the velocity determines how hard you hit the note, determines how loud it's going to sound if you program it that way. Pressure sensitive is more or less your aftertouch. So after you touch it, you press down again, it'll do something that you want. So if you want to control your filter cutoff on a synth sound, or your LFO and its synth sound, you can press harder and it's going to invoke that control. So a very nice little feature that I didn't even know existed when I bought it, so I was quite happy when I saw that. Also, very nice two key beds. This is Fetar key beds. They're waterfall style, which means that they kind of come straight down off the front, which is great if you're doing palm smears, glissandos, and so forth. Doesn't hurt your hands, doesn't hurt the key bed, which is fantastic. The DMC makes a great controller for any number of potential configurations. So you could have main stage running on a laptop, sending different sounds to each keyboard. You could have main stage going to one keyboard and an iPad on a second one running a virtual synth or something like that. You could have a Muse receptor. You could have any kind of combination of things here. The software is very flexible, which is fantastic. Now, it's obviously optimized for Hammond playing, so you could connect VB2 software running on a laptop, or the HX3 module, or even Galileo running on your iPad, and you could map it out to be like a real Hammond, which is fantastic. Of course, it's got this funky future retro design going on here with the brushed aluminum, and you got these wooden end caps here that kind of come down in this really organic sweeping fashion. They make nice handles. I don't know if they're really supposed to be used that way, but I find lifting it is quite easy with those. So not only does it have great functionality, but man, it looks pretty cool. So very exciting. Gets a lot of oohs and ahs. So as I said, out of the box, it's a controller. Doesn't make any sounds on its own. So if you have other things that you want to run with this, plug them in and go. However, Genuine Soundware, or GSI, has just released what they call the GEMINI DSP plug-in board. I think I got a little manual here. You can see it fits right in the slot in the back there. And it's got audio outputs, it's got headphone outputs, USB. So the absolute coolest thing about the GEMINI board is that it's Wi-Fi. It acts as a Wi-Fi network. So it means you can basically communicate with the keyboard through any device that runs off of Wi-Fi and has a browser. So you can use your iPad or tablet, you can use your telephone, your phablet, your computer. I've tried a bunch of different configurations and they all work just as well as the next. Personally, my favorite is actually my phone. It's very simple to hold in one hand, make adjustments and play and so forth. However, for today's demo, I'm using my phone for this video, so we're going to be looking at it on an iPad. So let's take a look. Or rather, let's take a listen to some of the sounds here. Okay, I'm going to start with the organ here. I'm not going to go too deep on the organ. You can watch any of the numerous Mojo videos online to get an understanding of how it sounds and works and so forth. But what I've done here is loaded in the VB3-2 setup into the controller, so everything is basically mapped and laid out exactly like it is on the Mojo. So you know, you can, so as you'd expect, these all work. We got percussion here, bunch of chords, Chris here, and your Leslie up here. So it's a nice nice Hammond. I think arguably one of the best out there on the market as far as the digital tone wheels go. Now that's arguable, but I personally think it's the best one there. I think it's great for all kinds of different types of music. So you've so you get the idea there, and then maybe some more Boston if you're in the mood. Let's crank up some distortion. Get the idea. So lots of fun stuff there. So I'm going to pull up a Rode sound here. So I've got the top manual selected, and I just clicked on a preset called Mark 1 and amp. So it's the Mark 1 sound that we've got here. So there's a gentle, and then a little more bark when you bite into it, a little more bite when you hit into it. So that's basic. I can go in and edit the engine now. I can say, you know what, that's a little too mellow. I'm going to go for a little bit of a harder tine sound. So a lot of different things. Pickup offset is really cool, so I can and there's all kinds of you got a dyno, which is not my favorite, but and you can hear we've actually got a little bit of effect going on here. So let's take a look. I actually want to take off that tremolo. Something like that. Got a little chorus we can throw on there. I can hear a little distortion, so I'm going to go click on my amp simulator. Let's turn that off so it's a little cleaner. Clav here. The clav sounds great. A lot of nice options, but there is something that drives me nuts, and I don't know if this is intentional, if it's modeled a little too well, but the lowest few notes are way out of tune, and I don't know if it's something I'm doing wrong or what. But you can see here, It's not even great. Starting to drift. Does that sound in tune? It's way out of tune. Now if you press harder, it'll drift, which is kind of cool. It's like pushing down on the string. Actually goes sharp, which is what you'd expect. However, even with minimal pressure, that's way out of tune. I don't know how you're supposed to use that. So, curious to know what that's all about. However, let's go into to our effects here and see what we can do with this clav. I'm going to add a little wah-wah to it, and right now it's set on auto, so which is very cool. You can actually also move it from wah to LFO to auto to pedal. So I got it set up on my pedal now. So that's and for those who want it, there's a nice little FM piano here, a little DX7 kind of thing. Reminds me of every wedding that I went to in the 80s. And actually it does have some engine options here, but all you can really do with the DX is change the core sound. So you've got that original EP, which you heard there, Suitcase, which is a little bit more funky. It's got a lot of reverb on it. But you can there's 73, which I like a little better. So, samples sound a little better to me. There's even an Electric Man braid. So maybe a little reverb, a little bit of EQ, and you've got yourself a very usable solution. Sync sound, yeah. Couple of pads on there. And oh, very cool Mellotrons in here. So you've got your flutes. Mellotron violin. Go up an octave, hear what it sounds like up here. All right, let's take a listen to the analog engine in here. So it's got a virtual analog engine, which I like quite a bit. And I got to do this. Huh? So now I've officially been banned from all keyboard news groups and websites. That's awesome. So I've got the Shine On You Crazy Diamond pad on the lower keyboard here, and I've got a analog solo sound up top. And you'll notice as I press down harder, it's going to introduce a little bit of that LFO, and some of that filter cutoff is going to increase. So. Awesome. And one last thing I wanted to show you, I thought was really cool, is they've added this Paradise percussion mode, which basically means that percussion never fades. It just keeps kind of playing through. I'm not sure if they have that on the Mojo or not, but this is very cool. So I've got all the drawbars in. I've got the third harmonic percussion selected, and you can hear when I press it, it just remains, which is super sweet. So as you start pulling out drawbars,